We all know that billionaires are trying to take over the world, and I've learned how they plan to do it. It's called the control grid, an unholy marriage of AI, digital ID, and digital money that would make it possible to basically erase anyone from the economy entirely if they step out of line. I can't think of a more vivid expression of this idea than the classic Black Mirror episode White Christmas starring John Hamm. At a remote Arctic outpost, a blizzard howling outside, John Hamm's character Matt and Potter, played by Rafe Spall, spend a lonely Christmas sharing a bottle of hooch and swapping AI horror stories. This episode features Z-Eyes, an optical computer interface common in Black Mirror episodes that records everything users can see or hear. We see the horrifying possibilities of this technology when Matt's wife blocks him.
She blocked me. You ever been blocked?
I've had enough, Matthew. It's done.
Stop.
Not this
Stop.
time.
Drives you crazy.
Why?
Once they hit that button, that's it. You're locked out. End of conversation. You can't hear or speak to them. They can't hear or speak to you.
But the most terrifying use of this technology happens at the very end of White Christmas. Spoiler, John Hamm's crimes have caught up with him, and he's blocked by everyone. With carolers singing hauntingly in the background, Hamm walks into a world where every person is blocked and blurred from his vision. Meanwhile, he stands out in bright red, a modern-day scarlet letter, his existence a warning to others to never cross authority. This is a perfect analogy for the control grid, a power that billionaires hope to gain in the real world. Imagine having money but not being able to spend it. Imagine an algorithm used to lock a person out of our economy, blocked by everyone. This is the dystopian nightmare that control grid expert Catherine Austin Fitts calls the digital concentration camp, a manifestation of the surveillance state leveraged against anyone who makes trouble. Catherine Austin Fitts, one-time Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under George W. Bush, is president and publisher of the Solari Report, where you can find a checklist of all the things that have to happen to make the control grid a reality. The checklist shows that we are already well on our way, and President Trump has been helpfully speeding us further along. Here's how Fitts describes the situation. A digital control grid is an electronic network of digital telecommunication and information systems that allows individuals to be surveilled, tracked, and made subject to invasive controls applied to their financial transactions and resource use, such as electricity, food, water, transportation, compromising, if not ending, all human rights and liberties. Control grids operate with significant data collection and AI to apply social credit systems that can be dictated on a highly centralized basis. A digital control grid ends financial freedom. The three most important building blocks of the control grid are surveillance, digital ID, and programmable digital money. As Edward Snowden showed back in 2013, the surveillance state already exists. The US government has the ability to track the digital footprints of anyone on Earth. Digital ID is already being rolled out. Last November, my home state of Illinois, touting a modernization of government services, made digital IDs available to residents with Apple wallets. Secretary of State Alexei Janulius called it another major leap forward. The final piece is programmable digital money. It's been the talk of Davos. According to the World Economic Forum, over 98% of central banks are in the process of researching or deploying a central bank digital currency. Centralized digital currency is a dangerous centralization of power because all digital transactions are trackable and potentially programmable. The Genius Act, passed by President Trump in July 2025, opens the door to this possibility. As Toby Mayer describes, the issuers of stablecoins can remotely and automatically block specific transactions or users and can freeze or seize individual users' stablecoins. This programmability makes it possible for the Black Mirror financial block, where unapproved behavior automatically leads to sanctions in the form of an individual's ability to perform certain transactions. You may have money in your account, but the digital control grid can block you from spending it. Why would anyone agree to this? Have you ever wondered why billionaires like Sam Altman or Elon Musk support universal basic income? If you ask me, UBI is the perfect carrot to get people to agree to digital currency and the tightening noose of the control grid. Imagine things keep getting harder for the working class. Then finally, the ruling class says, hey, guys, you're right. Universal basic income is the only way to sustain our civilization. However, the only way to get your money and survive is to get it through digital currency and your digital ID. At that point, we will all be in John Hamm's shoes, vulnerable to total block unless you follow the rules. The minute you cross the line, you can be blocked. Sorry to say, UBI is not worth it at that price. The good news, it's not too late. Catherine Austin Fitts says that using cash is one way to resist. Avoiding digital ID is another. The control grid is getting dangerously close to reality, but we can still reject it. The control grid is not here yet. Please give a like, follow, favorite, repost, and follow my Linktree to sign up for my Substack, the only way to avoid suppression of my material. Let's make them pay.